Well, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I want to begin by thanking you all for taking the time to be with us this day, to show up and to show out for Georgia's girl athletes. I want to especially thank and recognize Jeff Graham from Georgia Equality and Bentley Hudgens from the Human Rights Campaign, and of course, my dear friends from Georgia Windless for coming and helping to spread the word about today's press conference. We are here today not only to address the potential harm of our trans girls that SB 1 seeks to implement, but we are here also to name out loud the equity mountain that women continue to climb in almost every arena, including athletics, even decades after Title IX enacted. For those who aren't aware, Senate Republicans introduced SB 1, the Fair and Safe Athletic Opportunities Act, and this bill is making its way through the Senate. To be clear, it is a bully tactic aimed at a minority community, meanwhile ignoring the reality that girls are cheated out of real fairness each and every day.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
What we know, what we continue to see and experience firsthand, what we watch on our girls' face is an ongoing, unequal treatment of girls in sports across our state. My Equal Opportunities in Girls Sports Act, SB 41, aims to address these inequities that are still present in our athletic departments. If we want to have a real conversation about true fairness and true safety in girls' sports, about a truly level playing field, then let's talk. Let's talk about how girls' teams are made to practice late at night or early in the morning when it's still dark outside. Let's talk about how girls' soccer coaches who work twice as long, averaging 20 games a season, make 1/3. That's right, 1/3 the pay of football coaches who average 10 games a season. Or how about girls' sports teams who are assigned teacher supervisors, not coaches, teacher supervisors with no coaching experience, because their pay inequity is so steep that the qualified coaches won't take the job. If we want to have a real conversation about leveling the playing field, then let's talk. Let's talk about the severe lack of equipment provided to teams, like the 6 soccer balls given to girls' soccer teams in South DeKalb, or about the fact that teams are resorting to raising operating funds through athletic booster clubs and student fees just to ensure that they have proper equipment. Let's talk about the girls who never even get a chance to play because they can't afford the fees at their public schools. If we want to have a real conversation about leveling the playing field, then let's talk. Let's talk about the media who highlight the accomplishments of boys' soccer teams, but not the girls' soccer team that wins the state championship. The attention that's given to football teams far and above any girls' teams in our schools. Let's talk about the medical professionals and the trainers who are stretched thin, hired to serve all school athletes, but commandeered by boys' football and basketball teams. Our female athletes are here begging for real solutions to their real problems. And to be clear, our trans girls are the farthest from the problem that is actually hindering our girls' abilities to play. We've got a long way to go to leveling the playing field in girls' sports. So let's solve real problems by passing SB 41. At this time, I invite Representative Oliver to come and talk as one who is a pre-Title IX athlete.
Thank you. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I am a pre-Title IX athlete from Druid Hills High School. I come to tell you about some of the good steps, the positive steps we have made in my political career and why we need to move forward and not backward. I also come to you on behalf of the Decatur girls cross-country team that has won the state championship 2 years in a row. I remember when Republican women came together with Democrat women to make the Georgia high school system of sports include fast pitch softball. That was a very good victory. I remember when Channel 2, Monica Pearson, did an extensive analysis of the fact that the Georgia High School Association, Sports Association, had no women on the board. We passed a bill and they have women on the board now. Title IX changed the entire world. When I was a 4-year letter person at Druid Hills High School, captaining my swim team, I was good for a few months of every year in a sport. When I went to Vanderbilt, I was invited to join the synchronized swim team. I think that we know that girls' sports has come a long way, but we also know, and we must address the issue that it's not equal. That's right. Evening the playing field is what we must do at this time. The discussion that's focused on the non-existence of girl trans athletes is a total distraction and a negative impediment to further progress. Thank you for your attention today. Thank you for your participation in some of the progress we've made, and let's make sure that we don't back up in 2025. Thank you.
Hello, I am a born and raised Georgian, and a huge part of my formative years was getting to play sports. Being on teams built my confidence and pride as a leader. Having seen the power of sport firsthand led me on the path of organizing and advocating for girls and women's sports over the past many years. While so much progress has been made in the realm of gender equity in sports, there is still so far to go. In my years of coaching, I hate to think about the time I've spent trying to fight for equal opportunities for girls' teams when I could have spent that time practice planning or communicating with parents and assistant coaches. While conceptually, organizers may know that girls and boys should be treated equally, in the end, girls' teams are often scheduled in the worst time slot, on the worst fields, or given lower quality equipment. At first, these things can seem small, but over time, they add up. Consistently getting a little bit worse or a little bit less tells our young athletes about how much they are valued and sends messages about how much our young girls should value themselves. We have got to level the playing field. We know that on average, girls who play sports get better grades, have better attendance in school, and are more likely to graduate from college and even go on to graduate school. In this specific time, we are in a youth mental health crisis that particularly impacts girls. We know that sports are one of the best tools for girls to manage their anxiety and regulate emotions. We need to continue the fight for equality for our next generation of athletes to level the playing field and ensure that we have equal equipment, equal coach salaries, and equal access to facilities. I'm so proud to stand behind this bill as we come together to continue the fight for girls in sports.
Good afternoon. I'm Representative Shay Roberts, and I am so excited and proud to stand with my female colleagues and everyone here in support of Senator Jackson's Senate Bill 41. I also want to announce that we have dropped a companion bill in the House being carried by Representative Cannon. Currently, girls and women in this country and in Georgia are fighting to hold on to decades of hard-fought progress. Extreme lawmakers are stripping our freedom to determine our futures, to decide what's best for our bodies, and to simply be treated as equal citizens under state and federal constitutions. Now, those extreme politicians who are marginalizing girls and women say they want to protect girls' sports. If that were true, Georgia Republicans would get behind this bill, which addresses the existing inequities when it comes to playing time, access to fields, and investment in sports equipment and coaches. Title IX was enacted more than 50 years ago to ensure gender equity in education, which includes sports, yet disparities still persist. Sports are more than just games. They teach discipline, teamwork, leadership, and resilience. Yet, despite these benefits, girls continue to be sidelined, literally and figuratively, when it comes to athletic opportunities. As previously mentioned, girls' teams receive less funding, outdated and inadequate equipment, and are also forced to play on subpar fields at inconvenient times compared to their male counterparts. This isn't just an issue of fairness, it's an issue of opportunity and empowerment. Without equal play time, young girls are discouraged from pursuing their passion, and the pipeline that feeds future champions is weakened before it even has a chance to develop. What message are we sending when we tell young girls that their sports are less important, that their ambitions are secondary, that their commitment and effort are worth less than those of their male peers? We cannot allow this outdated mindset to persist. We must demand equal investment in girls' athletics, not just in words, but in actions, because this is about shaping a future where girls grow up knowing they are just as capable, valued, and worthy of investment. If Georgia Republicans truly wanted to protect girls' sports, they would stop their harping on the non-existent threat by trans athletes and embrace this legislation that empowers our girls. They would stop wasting our time and taxpayer money on legislation bent on harming a very small, vulnerable minority group, and instead use that money to add more equity in girls' sports and spend it on our young women. And instead enact SB 41, which will help hundreds of girls statewide have more equitable treatment in sports. The fight for women's equality continues, and I urge everyone to stand up for our girl athletes, because when we level that playing field, we don't just build better athletes, we build stronger, more confident women ready to take the world. Thank you.
This concludes the formal portion of our program, but I do invite questions at this time for any of our speakers. Go closer. Why don't you come? Go ahead, Sam. So to be clear, equity in girls' sports, it's not mutually exclusive to support making sure that we level the playing field for girls. But it is a false herring to suggest that we are creating fairness for girls by eliminating trans girls. That doesn't make fairness. This bill creates true fairness in girls' sports. If we want to protect girls, then we need to make sure they have playing fields that don't have holes in them, that they have access to equipment that fits them, that they have real coaches. Right now, today in Georgia, we have girls who play on the boys' teams not because boys are stronger or faster or anything like that. They play on boys' teams because they have real coaches, because they have real equipment, because they have access to real fields. And so if we want to truly protect girls' sports, this is the way we do it. It's with SB 41. I think that we can truly make this a bipartisan bill. So I began playing sports when I was just in the 3rd grade and played sports all the way through college and went on to play for the United States national team. And during that entire time, the playing field was never level, but we became acclimated to it. We became used to it. And moms actually stepped in to try to help with that. So moms began to spend their money out of their own pockets to make sure that we had uniforms that fit. They began to spend money out of their own pockets to transport kids to the games and things like that. So moms have been filling the gap. They've been trying to make it so that their girls, their daughters have access to the playing fields, have access to equality in the same way that their boys do. But this should not be on the backs of mothers. This is a Georgia job. Girls in Georgia deserve an equal playing field. They deserve to be treated just as well as the boys do, and their coaches deserve to be paid just as well as the boys' coaches are paid. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your time.